Harry Potter did indeed have an ending, but the story goes on. In today's video, we'll be discussing the fate of 10 characters after Hogwarts, what happened to them, where did they work, and who did they marry. Ron and Hermione. After the Battle of Hogwarts and the Second Wizarding War itself, Hermione tracked her parents and returned their memories. They, along with Hermione, then later returned to England. Hermione went back to Hogwarts to attain her NEWTS. She was the only one of the trio to do this, and by 2017, Hermione and Ron were married, with 2 children, Rose and Hugo Granger Weasley. Hermione also became the godmother of Harry and Ginny's eldest child, James Sirius. Hermione attained a high position in the Ministry of Magic, first through the Department for Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures. There she continued her work with SPEW. But sometime before 2019, Hermione became the new Minister of Magic. Ron, on the other hand, never received the 7th year of education at Hogwarts. Instead of completing his education, he moved on to become an Auror at the Ministry of Magic, and along with Hermione, the trio helped make a new world for the wizarding community. 2 years after he started at the Auror office, he left to help his brother George at Weasley's Wizard Wheezes in Diagonally, helping him to turn the shop into a real money spinner. Draco Malfoy. Draco and his family avoided imprisonment in Azkaban due to their last-minute switch in allegiance. Draco eventually married Astoria Greengrass. This was something of a disappointment for Lucius and Narcissa. The two had a son together named Scorpius Malfoy, who was raised by his mother not to believe the Muggles and Muggleborns were scum. Draco raised Scorpius to be a much kinder and more accepting Malfoy than he was in his youth. On 1st September, while sending his son off for his first year at Hogwarts, Draco greeted Harry, Ron, Hermione and Ginny at King Crow Station. The relationship between Harry and Draco was much better than it had been when they were students together. Being wealthy without any need to work, Draco inhabited Malfoy Manor with his wife and son. His wife Astoria wasn't destined for old age due to her ancestors' blood-burn curse. Because of that, before Scorpius' 3rd year at Hogwarts, Astoria died due to her family curse, leaving Draco devastated and heartbroken. Ginny Weasley. After the Second Wizarding War, Ginny became part of the Holyhead Harpies Quidditch team for several years. She and Harry kept their passionate romance, leading them eventually to get married. Ginny eventually retired and the couple had a family. She gave birth to 3 children, James Sirius, Albus Severus, and Lily Luna. Ginny later became the senior Quidditch correspondent for the Daily Prophet. By 2020, Ginny was the sports editor for the Daily Prophet, while her husband Harry was promoted to the head of Department of Magical Law Enforcement. Luna Lovegood. After leaving school, Luna became a famous wizarding naturalist, traveling the world in search of strange creatures. She discovered and classified many species that had never been encountered before. Luna married fellow naturalist Rolf Scamander, grandson of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them author Newt Scamander. The couple had twin sons named Larkin and Lysander. Luna and Rolf attended the 2014 Quidditch World Cup and sat in the VIP boxes with Dumbledore's army and her husband. Luna made an impression on Harry since he named his daughter Lily Luna Potter. The middle name was in honor of his dear friend Luna Lovegood. Her support and encouragement during the Second Wizarding War meant a great deal to Harry. Neville Longbottom. Neville briefly worked as an Auror following the war. Sometime afterwards, he was offered a place on Hogwarts staff by headmistress Minerva McGonagall and ultimately landed a teaching job in the Herbology department under head of department Pomona Sprout. Throughout his new career, his students would come to be impressed whenever he showed him his Dumbledore's Army Quern, which he and the other Dumbledore's Army members kept as a keepsake and had come to be seen as something of a badge of honor. Neville remained in contact with his old friends, as in 2017, Ginny told her and Harry's elder son to give Neville their love when he arrived at Hogwarts. Sometime before 2014, he married his former classmate and Dumbledore's Army member, Hannah Abbott. The pair lived at the Leaky Cauldron, where she became the landlady. Hannah had retired from being landlady as of 2014, but she and Neville never had kids later in their lives. Rubeus Hagrid. Hagrid was still working at Hogwarts by 2017, at 89 years old, owing to the natural aging of wizard kind, which also meant that he would likely have an extremely long life by Muggle standards. He sometimes invites Harry and Ginny's youngest son Albus to his hut for tea, just as he had done during Harry's first year. Hagrid never married despite his attraction to Madame Maxime, as she was ultimately too complex for them to be a good match. George Weasley. After the Battle of Hogwarts, George never truly got over Fred's death. He eventually married Angelina Johnson, the girl that Fred asked to go with him to the Yellow Ball. George and Angelina eventually named their first child Fred, in love and memory of the twin brother he lost during the final battle. The couple also had a daughter named Roxanne. George continued to run Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, the joke shop that he started with Fred to great success. His younger brother Ron retired from being an author in the ministry after 2 years and helped him to run the shop. That was all for today's video. If you enjoyed, please hit the subscribe button. Also, you can comment down below which characters you want me to do next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.